joining me right now. And I wanted him on originally for another topic, but now I got to ask him about this because he's been like the tip of the spear on every issue. I joke all the time that Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey gets up and he does that Roddy Piper thing. I'm here to kick butt and chew gum, and I'm all out of gum. And he's joining us now via Skype, and I got to get his reaction to this executive order and these remarks from the president. General, good to see you. What is your initial takeaway from this?
What a joke. I mean, this is a crisis of President Biden's own making. Immigration law is largely unchanged in the past 40 years. President Trump used the laws that were on the books to reduce illegal border crossings by more than 90%, to start building a physical barrier to protect our national sovereignty at our southern border, to make streets more safe, Missouri streets more safe. President Biden undid all of that, despite the fact that President Biden voted for the Secure Fence Act as United States Senator in 2006. He signed an executive order saying he wouldn't build any more border walls, even though in fiscal year 2020, Congress in the appropriations bill had commanded him to erect new border barrier systems. We filed suit. We won that lawsuit, forcing him to build President Trump's border wall to start doing his job at the southern border. We're the first state in the nation to successfully win a lawsuit against the Biden administration on these border issues. We have two other lawsuits pending to end the catch and release program and stop the abuse of the parole process. Only Congress, through statute, can tell us who gets a visa and who doesn't. Yeah. They create visa programs that are codified into law. President Biden has perverted the parole process to essentially convert it into a visa program never authorized by Congress. We have a lawsuit pending on that. And so now, after the water's all out and the flood has happened, he's going to close the gates of the dam after the flood's already done all the damage. 1,100 incidences of human trafficking in Missouri in 1 year, 1,500 deaths from fentanyl. That blood is on his hands.
And that's a great point as well with the trafficking. We're talking to Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey, because he says in it that he mentions, in that cut that we just played, separating the kids at the border, and there was an exploitation of the Flores Agreement, which had groups of adults that were like playing rent-a-kid. They were bringing kids in so that they could get fast-tracked through the system. Bill Malugin noted that they're still all exempt from this order. So it's kind of still, it's sort of like Flores in effect still. But that was done to stop the trafficking because, as you just said, and there were, I think it was an IG report also that confirmed this, there were incidents of child like a lot, too much for anybody. One's more than anyone wants. But child trafficking as a result of that rent-a-kid that popped up because they were getting fast-tracked through the system. And he's acting like checking to make sure that kids are with the people that they're supposed to be with was a bad thing. This is going to make this worse.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Look, this is a spit in the ocean. He's caused this problem, and now he's taking half measures to try to fix it. And at the end of the day, President Biden is a co-conspirator with those instances of human trafficking because of his perversion and conversion of the law and breaking of the plain text of the law. He's in violation of the plain text of the law. He doesn't get to write the laws. Congress does that. And his refusal to follow the laws is causing this problem. The numbers I provided, the 1,500 fentanyl deaths, 1,100 cases of human trafficking, bear in mind, those are just in Missouri. That's not nationwide. Magnify that by 50. But again, this is all President Biden's fault. The tools were there, the necessary tools were present in order to protect our national sovereignty. If we don't have a southern border, we don't have a country. Yeah. And instead of doing that, he's ignored it.
But General, he says that and I'm looking at my notes, they're going to invest in 100 high-tech machines to help check, to stop the flow of fentanyl. That's going to do it, isn't it?
Well, look, this is a joke. It is shameful. I know what a secure border looks like. In 2005, as an armored cavalry scout platoon leader, I participated in border screening operations to secure the border between Iraq and Syria. And it is a sad day in American history when I can tell you firsthand that the border between Iraq and Syria in 2005 was safer and more secure than the southern border of the United States in 2024. And again, that is President Biden's fault.
We're talking with Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey. Yeah, this isn't closing the border. It's just maybe kind of enforcing how many people can come across in one day. So I don't think we're going to see a reduction in that deluge. I wanted to because there's so many things that you're involved in. I want to quickly look at the verdict in New York, because one of the things that we were discussing last week on the program after this verdict came in was Republican AGs like yourself, and you're one of a very few. I think you've been in the tip of the spear of a lot of this. that's really, I think the spotlight is on what you do and your role in state by state more so than ever now, especially with this erosion of the rule of law as a result of this insane verdict. I mean, you got an expired misdemeanor that you're trying to tie to a non-existent, non-articulated felony to elevate it to federal court. It's weird. What can you do in your role as AG, a Republican AG, you're really going to have to become the fighter for the people, because we don't have that at that level, and we certainly don't have it in DC.
Yeah, and I think at the end of the day, this is about using the weapons in our arsenal to fight back. This level of lawfare against President Trump is absolutely being coordinated as a strategic campaign from the Biden administration. Make no about that. What Merrick Garland today, in testimony in front of Congress on the weaponization of government, refused to answer questions as to whether or not he was in coordination with the state level prosecutions in New York and Georgia of President Trump. We can draw a negative inference from his silence. His silence is a tacit admission that they are absolutely colluding with these illicit witch hunt prosecutions. That's why my office launched an investigation into the relationship between Biden's crooked Department of Justice, Alvin Bragg, Fani Willis, and these illicit witch hunt prosecutions. We know, based on information in the public domain, that Matthew Colangelo, the former third-ranking official in Biden's crooked Department of Justice, was deployed to fight against President Trump in Alvin Bragg's office.
And he took a demotion.
Took less money to go attack his former boss's political rival. And so the objective here was never to obtain a legally valid conviction. It was always to remove President Trump from the campaign trail and deny Missourians and other voters access to their preferred presidential candidate. It's also dropping a poison pill in a well that we'll be drawing water from for the next 24 months. When President Trump wins a second term, this will haunt, the appeal will haunt his administration for the first 18 to 24 months of his second term, just as the Russia hoax collusion haunted the first few years of his first term. And so, again, it was never to obtain a legally valid conviction. It was always to harass a political opponent. That is shameful, and that's why we're fighting back with our investigation.
Will this lead you, General, to maybe increase your examinations of any impropriety that Democrats may look like they're committing in your state?
Absolutely. It has gone on for far too long. The Republicans and conservatives have taken it on the chin, while the left bends and breaks the rules and ignores criminal behavior like Hillary Clinton, like Joe Biden's possession of secret documents, and persecutes and prosecutes President Trump. Why? Because he put America first. But you know what? It actually helps President Trump. He's gaining ground in the polls and growing the party in ways never imaginable before. And why is that happening? Because people still love this country and they don't like what they're seeing. We're a nation founded upon law. The Constitution is our national identity. And when they see people in positions of power like President Biden, Matthew Colangelo, and Alvin Bragg breaking the rules and depriving President Trump of his due process and civil liberties and civil rights, that offends our sense of national identity.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing it kind of play out right now. You got Hunter Biden, who started. I mean, he's in court today. The prosecution had their opening statement. They seated the jury yesterday. The first lady showed up in court the last 2 days to support him. I mean, this is a case they thought he, I guess, was just supposed to bypass federal law as it relates to gun purchases, and it's not. Because I know Claire McCaskill, who I know you know very well, Claire McCaskill was saying that, oh, Republicans, they don't like these laws. How could they be arguing against them? But this isn't us arguing against. This is us trying to keep Democrats honest about the laws that they claim that they want and that they support, but yet they think Hunter Biden should get a pass on, General.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. Look, it is a sorry state of affairs. We used to agree, both political parties agreed that the rules matter, and we elevated the rules of the game above the players and the outcome. And, that the left has clearly jettisoned that approach. And so, yeah, look, enforce the laws that are on the books. There's a lot on the laws on the books in Missouri that I don't necessarily agree with, but that's not my decision to make. Just like the Soros-backed prosecutor in the city of St. Louis, who's refusing to charge criminals with criminal offenses. She didn't have that authority. It was not within Kim Gardner's authority to nullify law after the fact. She was charged with enforcing the laws on the books. You want to change the laws, go run for the General Assembly, run for Congress at the federal level.
Exactly. And this is one of the things that you're challenging Joe Biden on. You were in court arguing against that unlawful $500 billion, I don't want to say student loan debt cancellation. It's debt sharing. It's making everyone else co-signers on these loans. And I know that the ruling is expected in the next few weeks. You had a great thread about this, explaining this to everyone. I don't want to say get out your crystal ball and tell me where you think this is going to go. I feel like, just from everything that I've seen, that this is going to be in your favor.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, the Supreme Court's already ruled on this issue, right? We got the decision. I was at the council table representing the state of Missouri in February of 2023, and we got the decision in June of 2023 that struck down the first attempt of President Biden to unconstitutionally, illegally saddle working Missouri families with Ivy League debt. And the reasoning from that decision is going to apply here. At the end of the day, there's no explicit congressional authority in statute to redistribute more than $500 billion in debt. And again, that hurts Missouri taxpayers to the tune of north of $40 million. So Missouri absolutely has standing. We're going to win this lawsuit in the long run. But make no mistake about it. This is not about a valid debt cancellation program. First of all, any working family or small business owner will tell you there's no such thing as debt cancellation. Someone's paying it off. Yeah. But it's really the flip side of the lawfare coin. President Biden wants to weaponize government to attack his political opponent, President Trump, and he does that through censorship. He does that through lawfare. He does that through any means available to him. But simultaneously, he's going to weaponize government to be able to try to buy votes. That's what the student loan debt cancellation program is all about. He's losing ground in polling amongst a key demographic, so he wants to buy them off by promising them free money. And it's your and my money. It's taxpayer money.
Yeah, they should have not maybe, I don't know, consolidated everything at the federal level if they wanted to make college a little bit more affordable, which is what he did when he was senator. He supported all of that. Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey, always appreciate your fight. Anytime you want to come on, we always love having you. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Dana. All the best to you and your viewers.
Thank you.